Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. So, so I am going to recap Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. Okay. So, disclaimer first. Spoiler alert. All right. I'm sure if you have already seen it, okay, fine. But for those who may still want to see it, which I doubt, I'm saying now, spoiler alert. Because I'm going to give a recap, but also my review on it. Now, I am curious and I would like to know how you guys grade this actual movie. This is the first Tyler Perry movie I have seen in a very long time. That one with Kelly Rowland, I did not bother. I didn't bother with the one before that. I think the last movie I saw completely of Tyler Perry's that had his name on it was Acrimony, I think. It's been a minute. Typically, when I see that a movie's coming out with Tyler Perry, I just roll my eyes and I keep it moving. For whatever reason, I decided to watch this one. And maybe because of Megan and Corey Hardrick. And I think it gave a little bit of a publicity stunt because all of the main cast, hey, Shayla girl, the main cast in this movie, if you notice, all of them are divorced. And I think that was Tyler's PR stunt in this. Megan is divorced. Corey is divorced. Richard Lawson is divorced. And Debbie Morgan is divorced. They're all divorced, okay? So I think that in itself made people want to watch it because, of course, people are going to assume, are they talking about their lives? No, they're talking about what Tyler wrote in the damn script. Now, A through F, what do I rate this? And make sure you hit the like button on the way in. You know what? Let me start off with what I did like about this movie. I like the fact that it was a majority Black cast. That's it. And that's all. Yeah, that's it and that's all. Other than that, no. And just no. I can't even grade it from an A to an F. I graded off of the scale. I graded a Z, if anything. I don't know. You guys, and of course, people are going to assume that I'm just hard. I'm hard on shows and movies. Look, you can have your opinion. You may love this movie, but damn it, it just wasn't it. Okay, it just did not hit. First of all, the first half of this movie was just too damn slow. But let's start off with the forced wannabe shock factor, which was the beginning of this movie. Yes, Shayla, way too much. The beginning of this movie, we are at a funeral. We are at a funeral. And we find out the funeral is Dallas, which is played by Corey Hardrick. It is Dallas' older brother. Now, the reality is Megan, who is Ava, her father, who is the pastor, okay, you haven't watched it yet, girl. You ain't missing nothing, Aspen. But yes, come in, girl. Come in, girl. You probably gonna get a kick out of this shit. So Dallas, okay, so Ava's father, who was the pastor, he definitely went too far with his speech as far as pretty much saying the older brother is in hell. That's pretty much what he was implying. Your brother's in hell, but you can still save your life. All right. I don't care what kind of pastor you are. Not a way to do a funeral. And of course, that triggers Dallas' mom. And she's like, I'm about to get up out of here. And we don't need y'all. You think we need you. Next thing you know, she taking off her clothes in the church, talking about, I don't need your hand-me-downs. And I'm like, but you still wore them, though. You don't need them, but you had them on your back. Then she sits up there in the beginning and says, you know what, boys, let's go get your brother. Get your brother. And they're like, okay. So they're like, sure, let's take the coffin. Let's go. And she's like, no, get your brother out the coffin because they gonna say they paid for the coffin. So get your stiff brother and get him up out of here. And I said, is this a comedy? Because I'm sorry, I laughed my ass off. Hey, Daily Motivation. Like, I literally looked at that and I said, this has to be a joke. I was like, this has to be a joke. And I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to say this now, and it is what it is. And this is my opinion, okay? This is for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion. You can tell the scripts that Tyler writes and the scripts that Tyler puts his name on that he didn't write. And I'm going to just say it like that. You can tell there is a difference. You are not going to be able to convince me that the person who wrote this wrote A Family That Prays. You're not going to convince me that the person who wrote this wrote the first Why Did I Get Married? You're not going to be able to convince me of that. Yes, you heard me, Aspen. You heard me. It was a shock value that he wanted that just was an epic fail. It was an epic fail. I laughed. I said, like, there's just no way. There's no way that you actually think. And it definitely plays out. It definitely played. What you say, Raphael? You said you can? Well, you can what? What you mean by that? And how you been, by the way? You mean you can what? But yeah, like you like a lot of these movies, you can tell when it's the same writer and when it's a whole different writer. I'm sorry, you can just tell. You can tell. A Family That Prays was a good movie, and the writing was good. And let me explain something. I don't care if you got Denzel and your favorite freaking actor in it. If the writing is bad, there is not much they can do with what they have on that damn script, on that paper. And that's what you saw in this situation. Corey Hardrick, his acting was over the top. And I personally think Tyler was telling him to be over the top that way. Okay? I think he told him to be that. This is not a play. You don't need to be like that. I think he was trying to do the whole Ike vibes, but Lawrence Fishburne, the reason why it was his situation was subtle and it became more erratic because he was on that Coca-Cola. Dallas came hot from the beginning. So we already start off with this unrealistic comedy ass scene. First things first, okay? So I'm just like, what the hell am I watching here? Then after that, after this whole debacle at the funeral, hey, Miss T, how are you? After the whole debacle at the funeral, then we have a situation where all the exposition, and I've explained this before. If you guys, again, look up exposition. Exposition, if you guys know, for those who don't know, it's when you are trying to tell and force a story or force things on the audience that you want them to know, but it's not done in a subtle way. And based on that definition, you know that is nothing but Tyler Perry movies. Here comes all the exposition. Her friend, and here comes all the stereotypes too. Her friend, which her friend name is Rona. Rona is her name. Well, Rona is the melanated, loud girl who's just overly opinionated. And I didn't like the fact that they was always trying to make it seem like because she was up north, she just tell it like it is, while the girl from the south is just very submissive and quiet and shy. Bullshit. I got friends from the south who are literally the same way and over the top and will fight in a heartbeat. So I ain't trying to hear that type of nonsense. But of course, he wanted to put that out there. The Southern Belle versus, you know what I'm saying, the hardcore girl from the East Coast or from the North, whatever. But with that, she sits up there and she's like, well, your wedding was worse than this funeral that just happened. And then Ava, when she goes to find Dallas, starts telling a story about how during prom, he got oil all over his suit, and her friend was laughing, and he was so annoyed by the situation, he decided to put oil on her prom dress. And she was like, oh my gosh, you were so mean. And so hearing those two stories within 15 minutes of this movie, I'm like, why in the hell did you deal with him for all this time? Why? Where is it in your background that has allowed you to deal with a Dallas your whole time? See, in a Tina Turner movie, we realize what her situation was from the beginning. It was abandonment issues. The first scene we saw in What's Love got to do with it. She's being left by her mother and left with her grandmother. And she's always felt abandoned. So she didn't want to abandon this man because she knew what love felt like walking out on her. She even said that in the movie. In this situation, she's coming from a loving household. And you mean to tell me because her parents from time to time didn't say how proud they was of her, she decided to deal with this piece of shit for 20 years? Is this making sense to y'all? Like, because it damn sure wasn't making sense to me. So I'm thinking immediately, like, what is it about you that has made you deal with this guy? So it was just like, I could see if he was able to fill a void that she had. He never filled the void. He never made her feel special. Clearly, he was always mean. So I'm thinking, like, what's the point of this again? Help me understand. Yeah, exactly, Shayla. Exactly, Miss T. Hey, Nene. Yes, make sure you hit the like button. So immediately I'm like, and we're supposed to continue to watch this movie. Okay. All right. So, we find out that she comes from a good family. And, she's the only child. So their attention was strictly pretty much based on, her needs. And she apparently ran track, and they had to make sure that they used this corny ass line in the beginning. When you used to run track, you would be strategic when it came to that finish line. When are you going to cross that finish line? And when are you going to get the hint to leave him alone? And I was like, really, Tyler? Really? Is it really that corny ass line? Okay. So, and that's another thing too. She ran track. She didn't go to college for track. Like, it's so many potholes that was missing in this. Just so many. So then at that point, we see immediately also that Dallas is crazy. Because when he was in the truck, he said he heard people laughing when they was leaving the church. Sir, you didn't hear no one laughing. You heard people shocked as hell that your mama told y'all to take out the stiffy from the coffin. That's what you heard. So I said, oh, he's definitely mentally not there. And you're not going to be able to convince me that you just knew this, because your friend created a long list where it looked like it was multiple pages of all the things that he's done to you. So again, not making sense. And if I remember correctly, because I think I did a live on this, and my crew who's been here for a minute, y'all please help me understand and let me know. Wasn't Tyler the one trying to tell Black women that they need to date down? Didn't he have that interview where he said you need to date down, and that man that you may find may not make the same amount of money as you, can only take you to get Burger King? Or he said something crazy like that. I know we talked about it. Well, damn it, if this movie is an example, if this ain't an example of hell no, we shouldn't date down, I don't know what is. Like, I don't know what is. Like, you talking about we need to date down, bruh. This movie you just did is telling us why we shouldn't. Because this is a perfect example, because they came from two totally different worlds. And it is very obvious that his family was always jealous of her family. Now, at the end of the day, she can say, the mother of Dallas could say all day long, they always look down on them. But it sounds like they had a reason to look down on you, because it wasn't like you were just down and out and didn't have the means or the money. Y'all apparently was the villains of the town. So at this point, what did she do for a living again? See, that's the thing. She worked at a bank. Now, what she did at the bank, I don't know, but we never knew what Dallas did. But he wanted to make it very clear in the movie that all she does is sit at a bank all day. Well, what do you do? So we didn't even know what he did. We never saw him at work. So again, so many holes missing in this movie. Okay. Now, with all of that happens, she's still trying. Okay. With this pointless dialogue and everything else, the same shit, different cast when it comes to Tyler Perry. And they end up going out to dinner. Child. And at this dinner, his movies always lack character development, Nene. That's his problem. They always lack character development. At this freaking dinner, he is loud as hell, overacting like a mofo. And he's like, I want a divorce. I done went to a lawyer. You gonna sign them papers. We ain't got no kids. Fuck you, bitch. I'm out. That's damn near what you got at that scene. I think I did a great job. I really do. What I just did for y'all is exactly what you see in that scene. And so at that point, he literally is disrespecting everyone at the table. Now, the friend, a no good friend there, he ain't saying shit. He just looking at the situation. Even when Dallas sits up there and disrespects his own wife, he don't say nothing. And literally, he's like, yo, ghetto ass. And I'm thinking like, bro, you got gold teeth and you live in a mobile home. Okay, I don't even think that was a trailer. That was a mobile home. Now, they got some nice ass mobile homes out here in California. That sucker looked like you could sneeze and that thing was gonna crumble. So I'm confused on how you calling somebody ghetto and you come and pack the way that you pack. Are you trying to say you country and she ghetto? But okay. So he even disrespects her, okay? And then he ends up leaving and she crying. And at this point, she's crying. A friend gave her this funky ass letter of all these things that he's done to her since they've been best friends. And the next thing you know, she get in her car and she go back to her mama and her pappy. And mind you, let's get to what really makes a good movie. Action. And in the first hour of this movie, this hour was over 2 hours long, y'all. 2 hours long. The first damn hour, nothing was happening. You can try to say that she was trying to find herself, but that doesn't create a great movie. Okay? All we see is forced dialogue, a freaking church scene that looked like it should be in a Mama I Want to Sing and Fry Some Chicken Wings play. All of a sudden, you see this praise break. I'm just like, Tyler, this is not one of your Chitlin Circuit plays. This is not. This is a movie. Okay? Movies are supposed to have a whole different dynamic than a play, but you seem to not be able to understand that yet. Or maybe you just don't care because that's your audience and you have a cult following, so you don't care at this point. But literally, it was slow, you guys. It was slow as hell. There was nothing going on the first hour. Nothing. And they're trying to show her like videos of what she used to be in the past and how she's, they show her wedding and how Dallas' mama was acting a fool. And you mean to tell me, oh, and then of course, let's not forget the knight in shining armor, because you got to have the no good black man. Then you got to have, you know what I'm saying, the good black man that really wants you. He may not have much, but he really wants you. He just got some goats and some cows, but he really wants you. You got to have him. So that's Benji. Okay, that's Benji. So we come across Benji, and Benji has always wanted her and never said anything. Okay. So at this point, You have this woman who clearly is broken inside to deal with a man like that for 20 plus years, and we really still don't know why. And you mean to tell me that within 1 week of just her being at her parents' house, she is renewed, she is refreshed, and she is ready to take on the world, and she wants the divorce in the black, not in the red? Full of shit. I ain't believing that. I ain't believing it at all. Sorry. Did y'all believe it? I didn't. So then when she ends up getting back, that's when some of the action starts to come in. Okay. And it's still pointless action. Let me see what you guys are saying. She took an Uber to get cussed out. I can't. No, she drove herself. Hey, should have been escorted out of the, they should have been escorted out of the restaurant like that. Exactly. This was a Lifetime special at best. Girl, this was worse than a Lifetime. The mama and all that slave crime was annoying. Oh, Lord. Yes. Baby, what did I do? You can't do this. What did I do so wrong? Child. This is worse than a damn soap opera. It was so like her rebound. Somewhere I saw a clip and Corey was saying he feels this is his best work. All actors say that, okay? Because they ain't trying to sit up there and mess up their bags in the future, okay? All of them say that. They do. And now people are thinking this whole situation got something to do with him and his breakup with Tia. Look, it's a script, and it's a Tyler script, okay? Ugh, I'm telling you, talk about a 360 for real. And I had to take some acid reflux before I started this because I had to try to swallow this bullshit. So look, at this point when she gets back, she wants the divorce in the black. And so all of a sudden, Dallas receives this freaking picture from one of his no good brothers. And that was another thing too that they didn't develop. They tried to develop that one of his brothers, Norris, who is now the oldest brother, was the one who had some type of level of sense in his head. I thought that was going to play in this later on, that Norris was actually going to talk some sense into his brother and his family and say, we ain't shit because of us, not because of them type of thing. But that never played out. A lot of stuff didn't play out. But with that being said, when she gets back, he gets a picture from one of his brothers about her sitting up there talking to Benji, playing with the damn billy goats. And he's like, you're going to divorce her, right? So all of a sudden, he go up in the damn bank. I'm telling you, woman, I want a divorce. I've been calling you. You better be at that office at 11 a.m. I ain't playing with you, woman. I'll slap your nose off. Okay. Right. This is literally what happened. And so she doesn't say anything, but her friend that's supposed to be so opinionated and boisterous is like, you need to go. He's like, you want to lose your job, bitch? And she said, nigga, I don't give a damn about this job. Get the F out. Now, I'm sorry, but a woman who definitely what she appears to be is someone who's up in the ranks at that bank. She ain't about to go there with that dude in that bank like that. She pretty much said, Ninja, I don't give a F about this job. Get out. Do you know that is grounds for just getting fired, saying some ish like that? I don't think banks are union protected. What woman do y'all know who done work their way up is about to lose their reputation and or job, okay, by going off on a man that ain't even hers? I'll wait. I was blown. I was like, if your friend can't speak for herself, then damn it, you move the hell on. So literally after that, and this is nothing that pissed me off, Tyler freaking Perry. She goes into the lawyer's office. And says, okay, look, she found her voice to lose her job. Right. Literally, She goes to the lawyer's office and she's like, okay, where do I sign? And the freaking attorney is like, where's your counsel? I don't need counsel. I read everything. He's like, I highly recommend you have counsel. I don't need it. I read it. And I'm saying in front of all of these witnesses, I don't need it. Where do I sign? Let me tell y'all something, ladies. Hell, even men, don't you do no shit like that. And why would you put that in here? It's almost like you're trying to say, if you really trying to just let go and leave it alone, you just sign the papers and just go. Hell to the no. Don't you dare do that. And that was another situation where he could have played on that. Because see, let me teach you something, Tyler. If he ever listens to this, I'm sure it'll be in his next damn movie. There was so many ways you could have spun this shit. So many ways. That could have been the moment that when she signed without counsel, we find out that they snuck something in there and he was able to take things from her. And maybe that was the plan from the beginning because he came from nothing. Where it would have been a reverse, while they call them women gold diggers, that he got into this relationship to be able to get things from her. Which is why his brothers was pushing, see, she cheated on you. Here's proof of it. Get that damn divorce. Get that money so we can move on up. You see what I'm saying? So like literally, because to me, in that moment, Dalla was kind of smirking. So I was like, she don't even realize what she about to do. She's signing these papers without counsel. He's about to get some money. But did we see that? No. We didn't see that at all. What we saw was him just complaining. Hey, miss. Literally, we saw him just complaining about the fact that she always wanted Benji in the first place. She was always cheating in the first place. That whole situation about literally a 1-minute scene about saying that we highly suggest that you have counsel in here, it led nowhere. It led nowhere. Another missed moment just to put in there to put in there. So then after that, one more thing I did like about this movie. I like that song, Young Hearts Run Free. You know, that part when they had the party for her, which by the way, the house that her friends lived in, Rona, is that the house that they had from that BET Gabrielle Union, Mary Jane show? I feel like that's the same house in Atlanta that Mary Jane actually did her. That was her home. Y'all let me know for those who remember. I think that's the same home. But anywho, so yeah, Young Hearts Run Free, that is my jam. So when they was playing that, Young Hearts Run Free, that part, I was like, I'm feeling it. I'm grooving because that's the only thing that's enjoyable about this. And then we get to the cringy Freaky Tales scene. It does look like the same house, don't it, Nene? It do. It look like the same freaking house. Even the same driveway, except that it's missing that, gate entrance or whatever, but it looks like the same house. Then we get to the Freaky Tales scene. Now, from my understanding, it do. Okay, Miss T. Okay, so we got two people agreeing. Okay, it did look like the same house. Then we get to the Freaky Tales scene. And like from my understanding, some of these movies that y'all say have been happening like recently with Tyler, some of these Freaky Tales scenes have been so unnecessary. They said this one wasn't as cringy, but in my opinion, it was cringy as hell. I was confused, and I was confused on how when she was on top, I'm like, I don't know why y'all doing this because his pants is still on, but okay. But with that, it just whatever. So after that, next thing you know, she walks downstairs about to go to work, and Dallas is in the kitchen eating some Honey Nut Cheerios. And he said, look, I'm going to forgive you about this Benji situation. I'm moving back in and we going to get back together. You got some explaining to do. You got some apologies to give. And she's like, You didn't never know me. I'm the wrong bitch. He's like, yeah, okay, you ain't never talked like this, but I'm about to go upstairs. I'm gonna take a shower in my house. And that's where he sees Benji in the bed. And then they have this horrible choreography fight scene. And then the next thing you know, Megan Good, Ava's ass, who's probably only about 5'3", 120 pounds, if that. I would say maybe 100 pounds. I guess it's supposed to, in all of her strength, drag this fool who is now literally knocked out, drag this fool from upstairs to downstairs and drag him all the way to his freaking truck. No one calls the police, okay? Even though he's trespassing, no one decides to call the police. She decides to drag him out of her house, tells Benji to help him get him in the truck, and says, hey, slap him. Hey, don't come here no more. Don't come here no more. Yeah. Very believable. Okay. And don't call the police. After all of this, and the fact that he in your house, no one's calling the police yet. Okay, got it. So then after that, that's when he really go on a rampage. And he ends up going to Benji's farm, and it looked like every cow and billy goat is gone. And he done did something to them cows and them billy goats. Then came back to Atlanta and parked right in front of the bank. And then we have all of this stuff with him and his friend trying to convince him, no, Ava wanted you. You wanted this divorce. And he was like, man, whose friend are you? Get the F away from me. And then at that point, when all of that happens, he ends up going to find Ava's mother, played by Debbie Morgan. And we have a scene where literally if a Black person just looks at someone wrong, sniffs at someone wrong, someone's calling the police on us. And you have a scene where this man is loud as hell in this grocery store, calling her all types of bitches, then put hands on her. And literally here is this white girl right here witnessing all of this. And she ain't called the police or ran to management yet to get this taken care of. Huh? Really? Come on. I'm just like, what is this? You bitch. I was just like, what is going on here? So then the pappy, the preacher, finds out. And then he decides to go after this man and goes to the mobile home with his, steel, his hammer, and is trying to make it seem like he about to end him. And then the next thing you know, don't forget this man's family was a terror in that whole town. Yeah, okay, but at the same time, a terror in that town, it wasn't that much of a terror because the man who owned the bar said he was going to call the law on them, but he didn't because of Ava. And when they started acting up in front of his freaking bar, he had his hammer and said, y'all better leave now or else. So he clearly they didn't fear people like that. That wasn't a situation where everybody really feared them, because if they feared them like that, that man wouldn't have been so bold to say, y'all got such amount of time to get the hell up off of my property and out of my business. So the whole terror in that town, I didn't feel the fear at all from anyone. That's the problem. I didn't fear it at all. This was like a melodramatic Norbit movie. This was Norbit, you guys. Norbit melodramatic. Norbit the soap opera. Okay? Norbit did a better job of showing that freaking Rasputia and her brothers was more of a terror in that town than his family did in this movie. Just being honest, because I didn't get that they really feared them. They felt they was no good, but fearing them, no, didn't feel that at all. So to me, in that moment, especially with her having the complexion for protection, I don't see why didn't nobody sit up there and get that handled ASAP. But that's all I'm saying. How you doing? Yes, I had to do it, Nene. So yeah, so with that, literally the pappy go and try to get at him. He ain't bold enough though to sit up there and really take him out. But before he could even think about it, the brothers end up handling him. And what's so interesting is that after they handle him, he just pretty much is in the truck, pretty much looking like he's about to be like completely a goner. And because of that, I guess that's what made Ava say enough is enough. And she calls him and she's like, I'm on my way to have freaky tales with Benji, and he's so much better than you. And Dallas is just so upset. He's like, I'ma show you, bitch. And then the next thing you know, he breaks into her house and she's just sitting there drinking wine. Now, I'm sorry, but that just shows you Dallas wasn't even smart also. She's just drinking wine. She's like, you hurt my mama. You hurt my daddy. And then the next thing you know, he starts taking his hand to her face. And she says, yep, I got all the proof I need. So at that point, she sends up taking him to the upper room and he's gone. Now, mind you, they decided in that moment too to mention the situation again, because what happened was after his brother passed and he was completely out of his mind, drunk as a skunk, he's literally laying there by the toilet and he decides to reveal that apparently he is the one who unalived his pappy and his mother made him do it. Now, they've been together since they were teenagers, and you mean to tell me he decides to say this to you now? Because something tells me this wasn't the first time he was drunk as a skunk. Yeah, so this just randomly comes up now, and then he says it again when he opens up the refrigerator while he's sitting up there manhandling her. He opens up the refrigerator and says the same thing. Really? Yeah, and still no police until she decides to call after she get a couple of scratches. Yeah. Didn't the mama remind y'all of Monique? Stop it. The mama was, oh Lord, and calls Ava and she's an hour away instead of the police. Right. Yes. The Lattimores was definitely fear. Yes, and we saw that throughout that movie. But did you really get feared from any of them? No, they felt they were obnoxious and annoyed, but not fear. Because if that's the case, the freaking bar owner wouldn't have sat up there and went out there and said, y'all better go on. Y'all better go on or you about to get it. He wouldn't have did that. Yeah, and still no police. But we finally get police after she makes that call and she blows him away. Okay? And then after that, the worst part of it all, just the worst part of it all, she ends up going to the hospital to pretty much get her pappy out of the hospital. And they're all walking out together. Her mama, her pappy getting rolled out, Benji. And you see Dallas' mama and the brothers all standing right there as they're walking by. And the mama like, you think this is over? Do you think this is over? And I think even someone said something like, why they staring there and looking like that? Or what's going on? Or why they staring like that? And somebody was like, oh, it's because her son, you know what I'm saying, got clipped last night. Because I can't say the word that I want to say. And she's like, you think this is over? You think this is over? And it was like, it better be. Just let it be known. Don't push good people too far. And then they walk. And then the movie is over. Yes, that's how it ends. Them walking out of a hospital, Ava saying, it better be over. Don't push good people too far. And then the movie's over. Yeah. 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 And you know, so many things could have been played out in this. And the fact that she kept saying that she's almost 40, hell, before she got freaky tales from Benji, she kept saying, I'm almost 40. What the hell you almost being 40 mean? That mean you can't get none because you almost 40? Because he had in your head, Dallas had in your head that don't nobody want no 40-year-old woman? Like, I was blown. I was just blown. I was just like, who? And to me, there's so many things that could have been played. Let me school Tyler on this. I don't understand how I can school a billionaire, but I could do, my 5-year-old cousin can do a better job writing than this shit. One, you could have played up the fact that they didn't have any kids. And maybe she felt bad that they didn't have any kids. Why didn't they, after being with each other for so long, had no children? Maybe she felt guilty about that. Maybe she felt she wasn't woman enough because she couldn't have kids or something. You could have played on that guilt trip. You could have played on the guilt trip that she definitely, because she didn't feel special with her parents, or she felt like they didn't, tell her how proud they was of her. She felt like she had to be there for him because they wasn't there for her. Not as believable, but there's so many things that we could have played on. There's definitely a situation where I'm like, how were you with this man since high school and no kids came about? Why wasn't that talked about? This was better. Oh my gosh. Really? Huh? Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that shit. Yes. Tyler Perry is so one-dimensional. He has to tell you what the moral of the story is because he can't write. Hey, Chaz. I'm so late, but wanted to say the title had nothing to do with the movie. The scene with the lawyer and divorce papers, I was like, okay, he about to take everything too much like, right? Chaz, I tell you, we eye to eye on this. I'm just like, there was so many missed opportunities. And another thing that was so superficial, she said in the car when she was crying about him wanting a divorce, she said in the car, she, was so young and sexy, and he got all of her good years or whatever the case may be. How about maybe at that point playing up the fact that I didn't have any kids and he didn't want any kids, and now that I'm older, I'm gonna have to see if I can even have kids. Like, no. Oh my gosh. Like, Tyler. This is why I say, y'all, you're not going to be able to convince me that Tyler wrote Family That Prays. And this is my opinion. I don't think he wrote that shit. I do not. How do you write something like that and write something like this? How do you write something like that and then write mea culpa? It does not make any sense. So he may always say it's written, directed, and produced by him, but there are some scripts that are out there that he just put his name on, in my opinion. Because to me, A Family That Prays is one of his best, his best work. His best. Like, I haven't seen all his movies, but that was one from beginning to end that was good. You ain't gonna be able to convince me he wrote that shit. Sorry. But again, my opinion. Tyler must have written this. Girl, he was doing it. He was writing like this before the strike. He was writing like this before the strike, and his stuff didn't stop because he's not WGA. I don't think he's WGA. So he was able to still continue. Yeah, Family That Prays was good. It was, because it was good writing. I don't care if you got Denzel Washington, because Denzel Washington is one of my favorite actors. I don't care if you got him. If the script is horrible, he's only going to be able to do so much with it. And I think he's a genius with his timing and his technique when it comes to acting. But if it's not on the page, he's not going to be able to bring it. He's just not. Like, he's not. And Tyler just, yeah, he just literally. And again, here's the other issue. Everybody want to sit up there and talk about now is number one in the world. Are y'all kidding me? It's on Amazon Prime. And again, Tyler has a cult following. So because of this cult following, it's going to hit number one because, again, it was the only movie, if I'm not mistaken, that was released this week on Amazon Prime. And it ain't going to take much for it to hit number one on streaming. So what are we celebrating here? Hey, Leo. Hey, Chris, I'm late, but I'm peeping in to say hi. I should have known this movie was Jack. I don't have Apple TV, so I'm good then. It wasn't even on Apple. It was on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime, Leo. It's on Amazon Prime. And if you're a Prime member, you automatically get it. This was such a waste. Yes, it's yes. The wig was bad though. Tyler do better in a man. Oh, you guys, look, I didn't even look at this shit. And you know what's so crazy is that, again, I feel like all of this is in just narcissism. Tyler can do better. He can do better, create more financial stability and more Black people who could really write, who could really give him great content. But it seems like in narcissism, he doesn't want to do that. He seems very narcissistic. He wants to be able to be praised and buy it all. He does. Because at this point, you are so established. You have your own studio. And it's still written, produced, and directed by you. Why? So Cat Williams had a point yet again. Because did he not talk about this in that very insightful 3-hour interview he did with Shay Shay? Did he not say that you got to be a gatekeeper if the only person who ends up taking off in their career is you and only you? Let's think about it here. How many people have come from Tyler Perry plays and Tyler Perry movies and TV shows and have skyrocketed in their career besides Tyler Perry? I'll wait, and I would like to know if y'all can name one. Out of his plays, his TV shows, and his movies, who has been able to take it to another level, higher heights when it comes to their career after being with Tyler Perry? His movies always go number one because of the most of us watch just to see. Exactly. Not because it's good. I mean, let's keep it real. Not because it's good. Wait, so Nene, this movie was better than Mia Coppola? Yeah, that's what Nene's saying. I'm glad I didn't see it, because if that's the case, baby, Tyler doesn't even use the people in his shows and his movies. He doesn't. He does not. But let's see who has been able to really take their career to the next level doing Tyler Perry stuff. I mean, you just haven't seen it. So it's almost like when you go to him, it's really to be able to get a bag, not for you to really showcase the best of the best work so it can get you to higher levels. You know what I mean? They changed the KFC recipe. Come on, Tyler. What's up, Joseph? I agree. Tyler couldn't have Royal Family to praise because the movie flowed very, very well. Very well. The plot and very well. You ain't going to be able to convince me he did that. Because to me, whoever did Family That Praise understands story structure, the protagonist, the antagonist. It definitely flowed too well from beginning to end. It did. Just like, why did I get married? The first one. Now, the second one seemed like he had his hand in that shit. But that first one, no. Hey, Lansky, what's up? Yeah, But that's my opinion. You know what I mean? But we hear about that type of stuff all the time, in the industry, and people writing their name on stuff that don't belong to them. We hear about it all the time. So it wouldn't be a shocker, but you're not going to be able to convince me. It's not adding up. It's not. And that is my opinion. Okay? For all of you freaking Tyler Perry fanatic stands out there, Jesus. I don't understand. You know what's so crazy is that when people are that much of a freaking cult following, like, they can't even really explain why they like something. They just say that they like it because it's good. Or they don't even say it's good. They just say, I support him because where he came from and how he persevered and how he came from nothing and all of this stuff and was able to rise to the top. Yeah, but that ain't got shit to do with this damn content. Was the movie good? You can still respect how he was able to climb his way to the top. And for some, they don't even respect how he climbed his way to the top. Y'all do y'all research. Y'all will sit up there and find out that allegedly he also stole the Medea character. I talked about that before. So, like, at the end of the day, though, if you want to respect that hustle, fine, respect it. But you can also respect the hustle of where someone came from and where they are now, and still say that they need to do a better job with the resources that they have or they could get. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So this is determined. Tyler's determined to showcase struggle love. I can't even say it's struggle love at this point. I don't know what to describe this at this point. Like, Tyler. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on in his mind. Like I said, it has to be narcissism. Like, you are allegedly a billionaire now, and you can't do better than this. Even if you have a cult following that people will just watch your stuff just because, if you claim you're an artist, don't you want to do better? But I don't think he can do better. And if you ask me, is he possibly jealous of people who can do better than him? I mean, he is a Virgo. Oops, did I say that? Don't get mad, Virgos, but y'all dark-sided Virgos, oh, y'all something else. Y'all something else. He's a Virgo. I think Tyler don't want writers. I think Tyler don't want, I think he don't want that because he doesn't want anyone to show him up. He doesn't want anyone to show him up. That's just what it is, in my opinion. Tyler Perry and Ryan Murphy knows they have a fan base that will still support their sorry shows, and they have gotten way too lazy for storyline in the movie. Now, one thing I will say, Ryan Murphy, I don't know what's been going on lately. I tried to watch The Last American Horror Story, but he still got bangers under his belt. Not even just from his original stuff, but he still has the 911 stuff. He does an amazing job with his true crime story type of dramatic replays and stuff. He does a great job with that. Ryan Murphy is a writer. Tyler is not. Shayla's a Virgo. Shayla's a Virgo. Hey, watch it. I said dark-sided Virgos, Shayla. I said dark-sided Virgos. So what was the true message of this movie that Tyler can't write? Because I don't know what the message was. Oh, I'm sorry. Her last sentence was, don't push good people too far. Yes, that, I guess, was the moral of the story. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Tyler hasn't elevated. He's stuck in Chitlin Circuit. Mama, I want to sing type play. Right? Yeah. You don't get me started on Virgos, a reason I need therapy. Man. So it's, like I said, I give it a Z. It ain't an A through F. It's a Z. It's a Z. Like, he's all the way at the bottom. Like, I just literally literally just looked at it and I was just like, okay, when are we going to get to some action? When are we going to get to the protagonist being more of a protagonist, the antagonist being more of an antagonist? What is going on here? But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they did their part with what they had. I mean, they definitely have done their PR circuits. They've been doing their promos and stuff. They're gonna big them up because one thing I have heard, and this may have something to do with Monique, I have heard that he pays his celebrity actors really well. He does pay his celebrity actors really well. I don't know about the no-name actors, but from Taraji to, you know what I'm saying, they always big him up about how he pays higher than what they've ever gotten paid in, I guess, normal Hollywood. And I think he does that to shade Monique, if you ask me. Let me say, like, because I'm just like, okay, isn't another movie coming out that Tyler's probably next stop Tubi. The next stop Tubi. This is Tubi. Tubi. You know what? I'll tell you this much, Aspen. I am shocked that I did it my damn self, but it was big as all hell on my Amazon Prime. And I said, I guess let me watch this shit and see if I want to do a review on it. And I am doing a review, but it's just to clown the hell out of it. But you absolutely, you right, Aspen, because you already know I am not with the shits. Like, I like good storytelling. I don't play me like I'm stupid. I like storytelling where it's like, don't just map it out for me and don't try to make it seem like it's automatically a good movie because you have actors that we know in it. That'll make it a good movie. Yeah, my mom is an only child, Virgo, same birthday as Jada Pinkett. It was rough, child. Oh yes, Nene don't do the Virgos. You know what's interesting though, Nene? I was raised by a Taurus. And y'all interesting too, though. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all interesting too. Y'all that's that bullheaded Taurus. Y'all stubborn as all hell. Chris, you have me. Girl, let me tell you something. Like I said, the only good thing is that there was a majority Black cast. I like to see my people on screen. I do. I love to see that. I would love to see them in better, roles and writing and stuff like that. At this point, Tyler has enough money where he could really put his money behind creators who can truly create. Why hasn't he done that yet? You know why? Because he's coming off narcissistic as hell. How do you have a studio at this point? You even have big Hollywood blockbusters filming at your studio. Apparently, Black Panther was filmed there. The first one was filmed there. And I think the second one, if I'm not mistaken. And at this point, you got so much money, you could really be able to put money behind other creators. Why won't he do that? Damn, now that's shade, Leo. That is shade. But you know what? If he took some of his money and put it behind them damn Tubi movies, he could really help a lot of people out. And I think that's what it is. And I guess his mentality is, since he has a cult following, why does he care when he could just put stuff out there? But to me, that's not how true artists work. True artists. Like, okay, let me break it down. True artists, one, pride themselves on being original. And two, no matter how much of a following they have, they're going to continue to sit up there and want to create and master and create things over and over again, because that is artistry. That is true artistry. So you can tell, in my opinion, when people come into this situation as true artists and people who come into a situation just for business purposes. You can. Even for those who are successful. Just because they're successful doesn't mean that they're true artists. They just found a formula, or like Cat Williams said, they did what they had to do to make it to the top. Tyler is so dang greedy and don't want to hire some up and coming writers or some that's already established. Exactly. You know, he had writers for what was that damn show That was another bullshit show. What was that comedy show, that first show that he did? Was it House of Pain? Y'all help me out. Was it House of Pain? He had writers, from my understanding. I don't know if you can still find that information online or he got it deleted offline. But he had writers. The writers were not union though, because I've talked about that before. Union writers get paid far more than non-union writers. They were non-union, didn't know the business, realized that after a certain amount of episodes, they should have been like union, went to the union about it to see if they can get compensation and health benefits, because non-union, you don't get health benefits either. They went to the union. When the union talked to Tyler about it, allegedly, apparently, he fired all the writers and he ain't had writers since. And a couple of them writers from House of Pain actually, did like a PR campaign on him and what he did. So yeah, so he definitely has shown he don't respect writers because he feel like he can just write them himself. But he did have writers for House of Pain at first, and then he fired all of them, allegedly. For real, Leo, you can find a good Tubi movie from time to time. Sure can. He isn't thinking long term. If something happens to him, then it's all over. I think that's the way he wants it. I think that's the way he wants it because he feels like he is it. He's it. That's that narcissistic behavior. That's that Virgo behavior, that dark-sided Virgo behavior. I'm better than everybody. Dark-sided Virgos feel like they have a God complex. They really do. They really do. And they will do whatever they can and can get dirty and down and dirty to get what they want out of the situation. Exactly what I was thinking. What's his motivation to switch it up when this works well for him? Wow, that's dirty work. Yeah, that's allegedly. Yeah, he did have rights for House of Pain. I was trying to get into these recent ones, but the storylines are still not good. Well, let him tell it. He write it all. Remember that video when he had all of those scripts and he said, "I've been doing all of this and I've been writing all of this," and you know what that means? That means work ethic. And I'm like, okay, you think that's work ethic when you writing the same storylines and talking about the same nonsense and nothing is being progressive? Just because you write something doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. Yes, Shayla, if you're not a dark-sided Virgo, my sister, this does not apply to you. See that dark-sided Virgo coming out. You see, Shayla, see, look at you. Nah. But yeah, y'all. So yeah, Tyler, this is shit. This is shit. I can deal with August Virgos better than I can September Virgos. I only have a couple of September Virgos that I rock with and we rock consistently. But yeah, but August Virgos, I can tolerate them a little bit more because they have like Leo traits in them. It does not. Shayla. Tyler better be careful because that $1 billion stuff he has could crumble. Look, didn't they say Puffy was a billionaire? Now he in all of this trouble and they claim he trying to sell everything at this point. So was he ever really a billionaire? Now, I do believe that Tyler does have more money than Diddy. I think Tyler Perry actually got more money than a lot of these so-called music celebrities that claim that they're billionaires. I think he does because he did have a deal or still has a deal with Lionsgate that gave him some ownership of his work. So I am sure he does have more money, especially years of doing those plays. So I'm sure he does. But at the same time, we have seen too many times that especially those who don't have the complexion for protection, their wealth drops tremendously. Oh, okay. See, you're August Virgo. See, Michael Jackson was an August Virgo. I liked Michael Jackson. Now, yes, August Virgos are cool. Those September ones are treacherous. I got like 2 September Virgos that I'm cool with. After that, the rest of them, no. So yeah, but yeah, you guys, what's my final take on this? What is my final take on this? Tyler, you need help. That's just it. You need help. But again, you're going to feel like, hey, it makes you money with your formula. Continue to do you. I know one thing, though. This just shows we need more Black creators who can get pushed through and be able to do the artistry. Because I really haven't seen a lot of good artistry from Black content creators lately. I just haven't. And the ones that did give good content, their shows got canceled. Meanwhile, the bullshit continues to get a green light and it gets produced and pushed out there. So we definitely need a balance. And I think we haven't had a balance in a while. And when we did have it after this strike, things got canceled left and right. So at this point and again, we need to. And honestly, a lot of people feel that way about Tyler Perry and his lack of not respecting writers and really not truly digging into how he has so many resources and can really up his game as far as storytelling. A lot of people feel that way. They just don't say it because, of course, of the power that he has. But a lot of people feel that way. Hell, his audience feels that way. If there is always a meme of some sort every time a Tyler Perry movie comes out. He got to know this. He has to know it. He just don't, like you said, I think Leo said it, he just don't care. You know what I mean? Never even like the plays, refuse to watch that, but true. Mr. You better say it again. Good creativity, not just the Black shows, the Black movies. We had good movies, and they were low budget movies, but they were good movies. Because at that time, they were like, bring it on. Like, we want to see the Black creatives. Now, to me, it's like they're trying to downsize that market. And like Cat Williams says, have gatekeepers controlling the market. And it's sad. It's sad. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, you ain't lying about that. Of course, we talking about the entertainment portion of it. But yeah, we need more Black everything. But I don't think we're losing doctors and lawyers and scientists. I mean, you go to your fellow HBCUs, you're going to have plenty of them. So I don't think we're lacking in that area. I do feel like there's certain things that are only being pushed, though, when it comes to film and TV. I do. And I don't understand why. And my thing is, I'm for the ratchetness at times. Don't get me wrong. I'm for the urban stories. I'm for the ratchet behavior. I'm for the, coming from the gutter, becoming something. I'm all for that. But it has to just make sense story-wise. You have to give me something besides you just putting someone in the hood and think I'm just going to appreciate it because someone is in the hood. Like, no, that's not how it works. You can tell your stories however, you can tell your stories in the hood. You can tell your stories in Beverly Hills, wherever. It just has to make sense story-wise. And it ain't just Black shows and Black movies that I sit up there and come at. What was that stupid show that freaking The Weeknd did that I went off on? I gave him a big FU. So good storytelling is good storytelling no matter who's telling it. But yes, I am going to be more upset at my own people because we don't get that many opportunities. So when we get opportunities, your job is to put your best work out there so we can open doors for other people. Spike Lee did it. John Singleton did it. We had so many people back in the day who used to do it and open up doors for other people. Hell, without the Spike Lees, John Singletons, and people who even came before them, a Tyler Perry wouldn't be able to exist. The 90s had, the 80s and the 90s. Y'all saw Martin is doing a new show. Young Martin is going to be similar to Bel Air. Ooh, nice. I hope it's good. But why do they put that expectation on us, though? Who? What type of expectations? Break it down to me, Aspen. Yes, ma'am, you're right. I need good old something like higher learning. Exactly. Yes, that bullshit, the idol. Like if you have an honest critique of something by us, they will drag you. Oh, you're saying that when we have an honest critique about like people that look like us and we talk about their work, they'll drag us for critiquing the work. That's from an emotional standpoint. I mean, honestly, people don't want you to have opinions anymore. And social media and like the YouTube atmosphere has made it to where people only really want to hear when people agree with them. When you don't agree with them, it's so quick to block or it's so quick to just press that X button. We're no longer at a time where you can have dialogue with people. And even if you don't agree, you can agree to disagree. That no longer exists. They get so emotionally unhinged when you don't like something that they like. It's ridiculous. I think social media made people that way. My neighbor throwing a BBQ. Should I just show up? They ain't invite. Oh my gosh, Lansky. Like seriously. And spell and Jamaica. I cannot with you, Lansky. So on that note, you guys, yeah. I most likely will not be watching another Tyler Perry movie. I tried with this one. I didn't watch that Mia culprit, whatever the hell it is. Didn't watch that. Didn't watch. Yeah, I didn't. I've only watched this one, and I regret it. I regret it. It was bad, y'all. It was bad. But you may disagree with me, and as long as you're respectful, please in the comment section, the replay game. Please let me know why you actually love this movie. The movie, though, not why you love Tyler, why you love the movie. I would love to hear your opinion on this. Maybe you have a whole different perspective on it. I would love to hear it. So with that being said, yeah, I didn't sit up there and watch it. I do a review on it. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to get prepared for the next live that will be in like 45 minutes. We're going to do inmate to roommate. So go ahead and get your libations, sit up there and, get your eat on or whatever. And for those who watch inmate to roommate, we will be back at 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.